Hello and welcome to episode 74 of
The Eldritch Podblast.
I am Margaret.
I am Jack.
And hello.
Hello, everyone.
How am I out of breath?
You've been doing a lot of moving.
I haven't. No,
you
I
got
haven't.
Up and you flicked the camera on and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you had a drink.
Yeah.
Picking that thing up. It's heavy when it's full.
Do you ever, when you get really nervous, get really out of breath when you're talking because you're nervous?
Why are you
nervous?
nervous?
No, I'm not nervous. No, I'm not nervous now, but...
She says that now. She says that now after saying getting nervous.
But does that ever happen to you? You know what? When when that happened to me, like the most recent time I remember was in your first campaign.
Yeah.
When we had to introduce our characters, because there's always the thing of like,
yeah, you get nervous when you introduce a character because you're on the spotlight, first person.
I wrote like a thing out to describe what Willow looked like, and I remember being so out of breath and freaking out the whole way through it. And it's so funny looking back because no one cares.
No one cares.
Literally
Absolutely
no
nobody.
one cares.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, not at all.
Everybody's thinking about themselves in that moment, not you.
No.
And you're like, oh man, everyone's watching me. And everyone's like, what do I say?
I know, everyone's thinking about what they're going to say.
Listens to yours and goes, man, that's better than mine. I need to do something. I need to say this in mine. Oh, I need to remember to say this. Nobody's thinking about you.
So that's some advice. Goodbye.
Ain't nobody thinking about you.
Yeah, no one cares.
I mean, people are thinking about you.
Oh, yes, of course.
Like in a nice way.
Yeah. But no one's being like, oh.
Like your family's thinking about you, your partners are thinking about you, stuff like that. But the people around the table aren't thinking about you.
No.
They're thinking about themselves.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. We have some delicacies in the house today. We got some
mac and cheese.
We got some Kraft mac and cheese. Listen. All right. In the UK, hard to get hold of. Well, not hard.
Mac and cheese just isn't like a massive thing in the UK.
Yeah, and mac and cheese in the UK is so. And what I can see the dog on the couch, and he just did the biggest stretch. he does this thing where he
big stretch.
He throws his back out, and he tries to land on something, and he missed, and it was just funny.
He's so handsome.
It's hard to get mac and cheese. Mac and cheese in UK is like proper cheese. And I'm not about that. Like
you got in America, I feel like it's about like sauce, like cheese sauce.
And you get you get the powdered cheese. We don't have that here.
And that's no offense to you Americans, but that's probably a good thing.
Absolutely.
Real
it's a good
cheese
thing for the public in general. For me, that's a terrible thing. That's a shame.
Yeah, real cheese is better than powdered cheese. What?
I love powdered cheese. This is why. So
Margaret is the definition of ratchet. She is the definition. I
love the Kraft mac and cheese. I love it.
Like
turkey dinosaurs,
tacky, nasty, rubbish food.
Yes, I do.
You love it.
I
do. Live for it.
I do. And sue me. Go on.
I'm not going to sue
Entity.
you.
Make them sue me.
Entity. Call my lawyer. Entity. Prepare for a legal battle.
Yeah, I love Kraft mac and cheese, and I love all that stuff. And it gets to this time in the year, and because everything's kind of ramping up for Christmas, you'll know if you work in sales or retail or whatever. Things get a little bit busier now, and it always gets around this time of year where we can afford the luxury of buying mac and cheese off Amazon.
It's not even expensive.
No, it's not. But
Margaret, it's like a delicacy that Margaret saves for the winter.
Yeah, it is. I like to save. Yeah, I like to. So we got some mac and cheese.
Yeah,
and I got 5 boxes of mac and cheese. Guess how much that was?
£12.
Well, it was $10.99.
Oh,
it's pretty good.
So it was £11.
Yeah,
well,
that's pretty good for mac and cheese.
Yeah.
5 boxes.
Is it that good?
I don't know. Americans, how much is a box of Kraft mac and
£11?
cheese? Like the standard 205 gram boxes of mac and cheese.
Is that how much they are? 205 grams?
Yes. I know that because I researched which mac and cheese I'm going to buy.
That's a very important fact that I feel like you've remembered.
Yes, it is. Tell me, is that a lot of money? Because what does that price out per unit?
Well, if it was 5 and it's £2.20.
£2.20 each. So $2.20. But it would probably be more like $3 something with conversion taken into account.
Yeah.
So what do Americans
for a pack of Kraft mac and cheese? The thing is, I bet
I'd pay that.
But would you?
I have.
I mean, yeah, you have, yeah. Over there, I bet Kraft mac and cheese, because it's so readily available,
probably doesn't cost that much, does it?
Chips, innit?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, Margaret, that's like the trash stuff. You want the good stuff.
No, I don't. I don't want the good stuff. No, I don't.
I want the
I want this.
I want the worst
This
stuff.
is the good stuff.
This is the good stuff.
This is the good stuff.
This is the best
This is the best stuff. And we're having fish and chips for tea tonight.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to have Kraft mac and cheese because I just had my fruit and fiber and it was very filling.
Get out of here with that.
It was so...
Get out of here with that.
I had it yesterday for the first time and I had a banana with it and it is the most filling thing on earth.
Yeah, but
it is the most filling thing on earth. I didn't feel hungry until we had tea yesterday.
Is it Kraft mac and cheese?
Yeah. Well, it's not Kraft mac and cheese.
No.
But that's a good thing, I think.
Oh, what the hell?
Kraft mac and cheese is fine.
Kraft mac and cheese is great.
I eat it and I'm like, this is all right, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Man, I'm so excited to eat it. And yeah, we're going to die of diabetes. We'll never see us again.
I went to drop off some parcels yesterday and the fish and chip shop that we go to, it's a really nice fish and chip shop.
It
is next door and I could just smell the fish and chips and I was like, do I just go in and surprise Margaret with fish and chips?
Yeah.
But we were making tomato soup.
Yeah. And tomato soup was really good.
Tomato soup was excellent.
Yeah. Do you do that thing where you buy groceries and then you're like, oh, I should order a takeaway? You have a whole fridge of groceries.
Everyone does that a little bit. We've only got one meal left.
Yeah, we do. We do.
We've only got one meal left. We've got pea and ham pasta.
Pea and ham pasta.
It's a creamy pea and ham pasta.
Really good. I love peas.
Which is delicious.
There's one thing I love. It's Kraft mac and cheese and peas.
If I can get if there's any meal I want to eat, I just say to Margaret,
it's got peas in it.
We could just put some peas in it.
I'm like,
and she's like, oh yeah, let's do it.
Gourmet.
I'll have it.
Delicious.
I'll snaffle that up.
Count me in.
Put it on the list. So yeah, it's like a pulled ham and creamy pea pasta.
It's really good.
It's really nice, yeah.
Really good. If you like peas, you'll like it.
We're gonna have that. We've got a pasta bake, but that's a jar.
Yeah. No!
I'm a nuisance. I'm a terrible person.
If it seems like we're being weird, it's because we are. It's because we're filming a million billion times in a row.
Well, not really a million billion times in a row.
Well, 5 days pretty much in a row, right? Because we filmed not yesterday, the day before. We're filming today and tomorrow. Then we're filming on Monday and Tuesday. So it's a lot of filming, and it's because.
Why are we filming Monday and Tuesday?
Because we need to listen. Anyway, you don't need to know that.
You don't need to know.
You don't need to know that.
You don't need to know that.
But basically, because the dog was sick for 2 weeks, it kind of threw our whole schedule off.
Yeah, we got a little behind.
And we ended up having to film the day before the video came out, which meant I had to edit it the day of.
The day of,
and it was very stressful.
It's a bit stressful, yeah.
Very stressful. So we're having to film loads back to back in order to get caught up. Have you noticed a pattern here? Have you noticed that we're always like, oh, we're backed up?
No, well, does it matter?
No,
because we always get everything out on time.
True.
Apart from one, but that was because the dog was sick.
Yeah.
I think we've been pretty consistent.
Oh no, we've been consistent.
We're rolling on nearly 10 months now.
God, that's insane.
10 months of the Podblast.
Absolutely wild.
Blasting the pod for 10 months.
You're gonna be 30 soon.
30 next month.
Yeah.
Well, by the time this comes out this month.
Oh my God, yeah, by the time this comes out.
30th on the 18th of October,
Wait,
baby.
No, it won't be.
Yeah. It's the first on
What is this episode? Is this Monday's episode?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. This month, you're going to be 30 years old. We're going to go for a Japanese meal with our friends.
We're going to go with the
D&D crew.
D&D crew.
And that's it. I don't have anything else to update you on. I don't.
We've finally started making some money on Warcraft. We put
yes,
in a lot of groundwork.
Yep.
And we're finally at the point where we're actually reaping some benefits.
Yes. I am rich in game.
Yeah.
Not so much in real life. Art does not imitate life.
What it would to be rich.
Oh
what it
my
would
goodness.
Be to be rich, huh?
What else? That's it. Well, this Monday's today, on Thursday's video, we mentioned in a couple of videos before, like we stopped doing things like the rolling challenge, like creating randomly generated characters and like the beyond the character sheet stuff, just because like it just didn't perform very well. So we assumed that was because you guys just didn't like it. If quite a lot of people said like I really loved specifically like the rolling the characters stuff.
Making randomly generating the characters,
because it was just a bunch of fun, and it was a huge bunch of fun for us. And it's kind of like an easier video to do for us, right? Because we don't have to prep too much, and we can just sit and have fun and kind of like hang out.
Yeah.
So Thursday's video is going to be
we're gonna do that.
We're gonna do that. We've made up a new game. We probably haven't made it up, right?
No, I mean, it's probably been done before in some capacity.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. So if that's something that you enjoyed, then Thursday's episode will be bringing that back.
We're going to be doing some randomly generated characters.
Yeah.
Making up some backstories.
Yeah.
That you can steal.
Yeah. Have him. Yeah. No need to steal. I'll put him in your pocket. You know when I mean, I don't know, but you know when you leave and your grandma smuggles money into your hand. Yeah. That's us with our randomly rolled characters. To you.
Why doesn't my grandma do What's going on, Grandma?
Grandma, hit me up.
Why aren't you giving me loads of money?
Saying that, one time, I saw your grandma's heated blanket and I was like, I love this. She bought me one.
She
just bought me one.
She did buy
so,
one.
You know.
And that's been a staple of this household ever since.
My God, that heated blanket.
We do love that. The dog is laying on it right now.
The dog is literally laying on it right now.
Our expensive heated blanket.
Shall we get what? Oh no,
we need to roll a new challenge, baby.
We're rolling a new homebrew challenge. So this is the last homebrew challenge for the theme Fae, and then we're gonna get into something a little bit spooky. We're probably going to expedite getting the spooky theme up, just so it's the whole of October. We have the spooky theme running.
Yeah.
And hopefully that will align nicely with like Halloween and stuff like that.
I mean, this is the first. Man.
What?
This is going to be the first one of October.
Yeah.
We should have done the spooky one for this.
We should have done a spooky one for this one, shouldn't we?
What should the spooky theme be? Should it just be spooky?
Well, we could have two running at the same time.
Yeah.
Like we could edit something into this. Maybe we'll work something out for you. But you know, this is going to be the first.
We should have done spooky for this one.
We should have done spooky for this one, shouldn't we?
Should we just call it spooky?
Shall we just?
Should we just call it spooky and roll it?
Shall we? Okay, we're back.
We're back after some deliberation.
And surprise, it's a new theme.
Whoa!
Who knew?
Oh my goodness!
Oh my God!
I can't believe it. It's
we
insane.
officially have a new theme. We're cutting the Fae short.
Yeah.
There was 2 good runs, and to be honest, there was 2 really great items in Fae.
Yeah.
But now it is spooky season.
It is spooky season.
It's the 2nd of October.
It is the 2nd of October.
It's the 2nd of October.
Isn't it?
And we're going to get a little bit spooky. And the new theme for the next 3, definitely 3 challenges are spooky. Ooh, it's spooky. Ooh. Listen, we were like, we tried to deliberate and think of like some different things it could have been. But I think spooky is just a really good one. I think spooky is broad. Like, so broad.
So the thing is, spooky season, we're going to only get 1 in October.
Nice. We could try, we can expedite. I don't know.
Yeah, we can maybe expedite.
I don't know.
For right now, spooky season is open.
Yeah.
We've brought everything back onto the list.
Yeah, so this is the list that we roll on. If you don't know what the Homebrew Challenge is, we roll on a randomly rolled table, and then we get an item or an NPC or a world primer or a monster, etc., etc.
Something off this list.
And then you homebrew it in that theme.
Yeah.
And the winner gets read out on the podcast.
Yeah.
So, we've opened everything up.
Everything is opened up. Every option is available.
You know, why not? In the spirit of spooky season.
In the spirit of spooky season, baby.
Why not?
Why the fuck not, huh?
Oh, who rolls?
It's you.
Is it me rolling?
I don't know, but I'm saying it's you.
All right.
Let's go. Give me the list.
Okay. What do you want to come back with? What do you want?
A spooky world primer.
See, I would like a spooky spell. I think a spooky spell would be really cool. Yeah.
I cast bat.
TRP.
I cast scary.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
What are you holding for? Spell.
Yeah, a spell. To be honest,
world
I think it was spooky
natural
world
20.
primer.
Come on, natural 20.
Are you ready?
20.
Oh my God. Kiss the dice.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Kiss it.
Give me the mwah. Mwah. Comments. Mwah.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Mwah. Is it 18?
It's a monster.
It's a monster.
You need to homebrew me a spooky, spooky monster.
Spooky, scary skeleton. Sends shivers down my spine. Oh my goodness. It's a monster.
It's a monster.
How fitting.
Very fitting.
How fitting,
Very
to be
fitting.
honest.
So you need a homebrew. If you want to take part in the homebrew challenge, you need to join the Discord. Go to the homebrew challenge. Is it forum? Forum in there. And give me your best homebrew monster.
Yeah, we will put up an optional template. You do not have to use it, but if you don't know where to start, you can. Last time we did a monster, it was it was a mixture of like stat blocks, of purely just lore, of like mechanical things. Do it however you want.
You don't need to do any stat block if you don't want to. If you want to, totally fine.
You don't have to do any lore if you don't want to. You can do however you want to do it. The only hard rule we have, and the only rule we have, is keep it to one Discord message length.
One Discord message. If you just want to give me the lore of the monster, that's fine.
Absolutely.
If you want to give me the stat block as well, that's fine.
Absolutely.
That's completely
if you want to give
you.
just abilities, that's absolutely fine. So, yeah, you have until, I don't know, next Monday.
You have until next Monday.
You have until next Monday. Don't know what that date is. I'll put it on screen.
It is the 9th of October.
Yeah, you have until the 9th of October to get your spooky, scary monsters in.
Spooky, scary.
Oh, so yeah, there you go. I hope you enjoy it.
I
think there's so many ways to take spooky, isn't it?
You can do something like undead.
You can do something like a bit funny or a bit cute, or you can do something actually really scary.
You can do something just with a scary past.
Yeah.
You can do ghostly.
So many ways to do it. So enjoy. Thank you so much for everyone who has entered the Homebrew Challenge. The winners for the face shield will be announced on Thursday.
Yes.
And enter via our Discord. The link is in the description below.
Enter.
Happy spooky season. We tried to change the lights to orange like when we clapped out then. You can't see it because the walls are so orange. So maybe like...
It doesn't have the same effect. Maybe we can just put like like stickers.
Yeah.
So just put like a couple of like webs in the corner.
Yeah. Do any of what's the closest our episodes are going to go out to Halloween? So what is it?
Go out on Halloween?
The 31st is a Tuesday, so it will be the Monday. We should do something cute on the Monday.
Oh no, I think I was wrong. I think we have more than one in spooky season, which is good.
Are we even going to be here? Because we're going to Comic-Con at the end of October, aren't we?
Yeah, on the 28th.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Yeah, we'll be here.
We'll be here.
Yeah, we'll be here.
We'll be
what
here.
Of it? We'll be here.
I'll be here.
Yeah.
Will you be here?
If you're at Comic-Con MCM London,
you should come and say hi.
We should come say hi.
We're going to do a meetup, I think.
We might.
The Squaddy Bees.
Who knows?
If people want to.
Yeah, if people want to, we might.
Yeah.
But yeah. Shall we just get into the topic?
Or if you're just there, just say hello.
Yeah.
But like,
hello.
You're those people.
You're those weirdos.
Yeah.
You're those idiots on the internet.
Yeah, who have no idea what they're talking about.
Ew, boo. Throw tomatoes at us.
And say, you stink.
You stink. Oh my god, you smell like beef.
You stink.
Oh.
All right.
Yes. So, is there anything else? Anything else before we get into topic?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
All right. Well,
Boop.
Today we are doing Am I the Asshole? D&D edition.
Is it me? Am I the
asshole? So this is a mixture of submissions and from the Reddit. Thank you so much to everyone who sends in your submissions. I know for something like Am I the Asshole, it's kind of a scary thing to send them into a podcast you watch, but we really appreciate it, and we'll do our very best. To be honest, we are of course a little bit biased towards you. That is just how life goes. That's why we include some from the Reddit.
Yeah, because we don't want to just be sat here going, you're an asshole. No, you're an asshole.
So, shall we just get into it?
Let's do it, baby.
I don't know how many I have. I didn't put numbers next to them again. There's an amount.
It doesn't matter. I'm the number counterer.
There's more or less than 10.
Nice.
I don't know.
Yeah?
Who knows?
There's potentially more, but there's potentially less than 10.
So there you go. That's the scale.
There you go.
So, this first one. This has been sent in by keyugor, and they go by they, them.
Keyugor.
Thank you so much,
keyugor, for your submission to the Eldritch Podblast.
Am I the arsehole for having a monster hit an invisible player character? Okay, a while back, I was the DM of an online D&D game with a party of 4 in a high fantasy game. The players are fighting a monster that I had homebrewed, which was a storm giant werebear. They rolled initiative and combat started. What's the implication of a werebear?
A wild bear? Or is it a werebear as in like it transforms from, is it like a giant that becomes a bear?
Becomes a bear. Kind of like how a werewolf is a human that becomes a wolf.
Yeah.
Cool. I like that.
Cool.
I feel like that's really cool.
Really
scary.
Cool. Yeah.
Really cool.
But cool. Really cool.
About halfway through the combat, they had killed a giant and had convinced the other stone giant tiger to fight the storm giant werebear. So not only was there a werebear,
there was a
were-tiger. but they convinced the were-tiger to fight with them.
Yes.
So the fighter, about level 8 in the party, decided to go invisible and move up to the werebear. When it was the werebear's turn, I decided to hit the fighter and got an 18, which was a hit. But when I said it was a hit, the fighter said, wouldn't that be at disadvantage? Normally it would be, but it had a keen sense of smell and a passive perception of 20. And since it was a werebear, it uses its sense of smell to hunt. So I rolled it as a straight roll. I then went on to explain why I rolled that way, which was because when it comes to smelling, everyone has a scent and it lingers on them. The werebear would be able to sniff them out and said that unless you had poured water on yourself, it would have been at a disadvantage. I also told them that they had a keen sense of smell and a passive perception of 20, and then they went silent. At the time, this just went over my head, but when the session ended, they immediately left the server, and when I tried to understand why they left by messaging me, they never responded.
Okay. So, invisibility in D&D, like, people run it differently.
Yeah,
like,
I was going to say, that's such a subjective thing.
Some people just be like, you're invisible,
yeah.
You can't be hit.
Yeah.
A lot of people rule it as it's a disadvantage attack.
Yeah.
I don't think that keen smell, personally, should override invisibility.
Yeah, see, again, that's the thing. It's so hard. And with something like invisibility and like charmed, for example, there's always going to be so many different ways to look at it. And just because you're like, yeah, I wouldn't rule it as keen smell would, I think I would rule it as keen smell does.
Yeah. Or the thing is, right, if somebody's got invisibility, which is an advantage, and then somebody has keen smell, which is an advantage, maybe we just do a roll. Maybe it's like, you do a stealth check, I do a perception check. Neither of us get advantage, because basically we both roll with advantage anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I think to me, but this is the thing, it doesn't matter because it's your game and you rule it how you want. Like, to me, invisibility trumps keen senses. In a fight, like, you don't, like, stopping and being like, while people are trying to stab you is unrealistic in my opinion. But you know, if the thing is, if you were to be like, it has keen senses, I would still have had it be able to attack, but maybe with disadvantage. Yeah. But you know, it doesn't really fucking matter, to be honest.
Yeah, it gets into a weird spiral of, well, I'm invisible. How would they even be able to attack me, even with disadvantage? Because I'm invisible. And then you go, well, they can smell you, so they have an idea, so they swipe with disadvantage. But then you go, but they should have it's a whole spiral.
Thing. It's a whole thing, yeah.
And I think the thing is, this isn't even something you can really go over in something like Session 0 because it's so subjective and it only really comes up like at the time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, so there's a few factors at play that would cancel each other out, and some people would be like, yes, you can hit, yes, you can hit with disadvantage, no, you can't hit at all. And none of those people are wrong. No. Because it's your table and it's your game. Yeah. Rules is written. I mean, like, when it comes to stuff like this, like, who really cares what rules is written is? Because everybody rules it
because everyone has their own interpretation of it.
If you want to be like, yeah, but rules is written, it's like, yeah, but I bet you don't play rules is written with everything else at your game. So why is this the only thing that with rules is written?
I think, first of all, I don't think you're an asshole, Keyugor. Yeah. Like, I don't actually think. I think maybe the person who just like left.
Oh, 100%.
Like is the asshole.
No matter what you rule here, the asshole move is, instead of like, you know, just having a conversation about it, just because you hit somebody who was invisible, they quit the Discord, left the game, and never messaged you back.
Yeah, I know. That's very rude. Yeah.
What a childish move.
I agree.
What a childish move.
And like, the thing is, I actually would say you would have been an asshole if you didn't explain your reasoning behind it. Like, because there's this whole thing of DMs being like, it's because I said so. And I don't think that flies. That
don't
doesn't,
like that.
I can't think of a single situation in which that should fly. Yes, you're the DM. Yes, you call the shots. But you should also be, if someone's asking a question and unsure why, you should be able to explain yourself.
You should be able to explain yourself, yeah.
And you haven't just gone, well, it's because I said so.
It's because I want to.
Yeah, like, you're giving actual reasons.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's why it's so subjective. So no, I don't think you're the asshole, Keyugor.
I don't think you're the asshole at all. I think that this person is the asshole for just leaving the game. Yeah. Or for being hit when they're invisible. Jesus fucking Christ.
And like, getting hit when you're invisible once.
Like, does it matter? Like, you got hit when you're invisible once. If we don't like the ruling, let's talk about it afterwards.
Well, that's it. It's like, you can have a conversation about it after the fact.
Yeah, in our first ever campaign, I remember like I tried to take a swing at somebody who was invisible.
Yeah.
And Matthew was like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
They're invisible.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then I was turned invisible later in the campaign, and then Matthew was like, I'm going to take a shot at you, and I was, with disadvantage though, and I was like, but when I tried to hit somebody earlier in the campaign, he was like, oh really? And I was like, yeah, and he was like, oh well, let's just say right now that this is how it's ruled.
Exactly.
And from now on, we'll go like that.
Exactly.
And I was like, okay, cool. And then at that point, it was clear.
Yeah.
This is the rule. And
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like Matthew is a person who's played Dungeons and Dragons for years.
Yeah.
And even he doesn't know exactly what it's. I think
no one does. By the way,
I think the actual rules as written. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure you all will. Is that you shouldn't be able to get an attack full stop.
That's how I would rule it.
That you shouldn't be able to get. If somebody's invisible, you shouldn't be able to attack them full stop.
See, that's the thing. How I would rule it is if someone's invisible, I don't care. No one's going to be able to find you unless they can smell you, unless they can hear
like
you.
Keen senses. So would you rule it though if they had keen senses or if they were like had a passive perception of a certain amount?
Yeah.
That they would get an attack at disadvantage?
I wouldn't do passive perception, but I wouldn't even do attack with advantage. I would do rolling. If it was I wouldn't ever run the passive perception thing. But
why not?
I don't know. I don't believe in passive perception.
Do you not? See, I really believe in passive perception.
I don't believe in passive perception.
Like, if you can take a feat to make your passive perception like 25,
yeah.
Like, you know, it's Aurum. He is like, as a character, he's a protector.
Yeah.
That's his whole thing. He wants to protect everybody around him. So he's taken observant, so nothing can ever get the surprise.
Yeah. See, again, this is why I'm not the DM.
No, but like,
this is why I don't DM.
No, but the thing is, it's like, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But then, like, I think passive perception should be a thing.
Yeah, I don't ever think about it, but I wouldn't. Like,
I guess maybe you could be like, if the passive perception was over 20, then we can roll.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I would rule it. How I see invisibility is, I just don't know how anyone would even know you were there. Like, even if they're swinging blindly and wildly, they're probably still not going to get you because you can just move out of the way. Do you know what I mean? But I would say something that could smell you probably could have a go at you and do it with disadvantage.
Like, what about footprints on the ground? Or like, what about blood dripping out your body? Do you know what I mean?
I think blood dripping out of your body, I think that's probably good. That would warrant with disadvantage.
So like, if you're in battle and if you've taken a few hits and then you're invisible, then...
I don't know a world in which you would just roll it. I couldn't see a world in which you would roll a straight roll against something invisible regardless.
Even if you had... Yeah.
It would either be, for me, no chance of an attack at all, or if there was a factor like they could smell you, they could see your blood, maybe your footprints, although I probably wouldn't wager too much on the footprints. I would say an attack with disadvantage.
I like just hearing you move. But like, you know what I mean? Like, so much is going on in battle.
Exactly.
Like, people are grunting and screaming and casting spells.
And that's kind of why I can get down with the smelling thing a little bit more, right? Like, the idea that you have a certain scent, an animal that hunts based on scent and that has keen senses probably would be able to pinpoint you specifically. Yeah. Maybe they would take a moment, they would forego something to be able to find you and smell you.
Maybe like one of their attacks. Maybe.
Exactly. And then have to make the attack with disadvantage.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it.
If the thing is, right, I just rule attacks are at disadvantage if you're invisible.
Yeah.
But if somebody was to say that to me, fine. Like, if that's the way you want to rule it.
I know, yeah,
but
exactly.
That's the thing is, that's because I think, because I'm a dungeon master, and like sometimes you do have to just make like things clash in weird ways, like this invisibility, keen smell.
Yeah, exactly.
And make it up on the spot.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know those interactions are going to happen so infrequently. If I was to be like, just so you know, like in session 0,
I know.
If you're invisible and something has keen smell, it's like
I know.
We ain't got that.
And
much
you know
time.
what? I feel like this is exactly what happened here with keyugor, right?
Yeah.
Keyugor, this was something
made a judgment call,
and then the other player just. The fact that they just left the server is weird.
What's that about?
That's really weird, but I don't know. Maybe
kind of cringe.
Maybe there had been things leading up. I don't know. Yeah. But you are not the asshole, Keyugor.
No way.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No way. You are not the asshole.
You know, if there's ever a moment as a DM or as a player that you disagree with something, you can have a conversation afterwards.
Like, yeah, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, just have a conversation afterwards and just get 100% clarification and talk through it. That's all you have to do.
Just talk through it. Like, as a dungeon master, if you make a ruling, just explain why you're making the ruling.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in campaign 2, do you remember when Liam and Matt had that thing when they were fighting that Hydra? And it was like, I want to cast Slaw because the Hydra had like so many heads. And it was like, oh, I don't want to get that guy in it, but I want to get in it. It was just like, yeah, but if they'd both rolled and they both failed, then you'd be happy. But just because one failed and one didn't,
awful situation to watch.
It was
honestly.
it was a tough situation.
It was a tough situation to watch, but that's just what happens when you care about the game.
That's what happens when you care about the game.
Yeah, agreed.
But what doesn't happen when you care about the game is you just leave the server.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Weird.
Can't
Weird.
really say that for this person.
No, you're not the arsehole, Keyugor, and thank you so much for your
so
submission. So the next one is sent in by Anonymous, and
that was a toughie.
That was a toughie, and they go by they them.
Thank you, Anonymous. They them for your submission to our podcast.
So this is a group submission. I don't know what that means.
This is probably a submission from a group of people.
Oh.
My group has put in a submission.
I was perceiving it as this is a submission about a group, and I was like,
it could be.
It could be.
When I hear it,
this is a group submission. That makes so much more sense.
Does it?
Especially given the context.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Our DM is always under the influence as well as one other player. The rest of us became sick of leading the story, so we all ate edibles or smoked a little before the game. Us sober people normally take all the notes, except now no one was sober, so no one but the DM took notes. And supposedly a lot of important plot stuff happened, and none of us remember because none of it was written down.
Nice.
One person drew some pictures, so we have an idea of some really funny stuff that happened.
Cool.
But nothing plot relevant. The DM has now banned the normally sober players from playing under the influence, but is allowing himself and the other player to continue.
Interesting.
Are we assholes for partaking and not taking notes?
No.
But in the nicest way possible, OP. Are you all 15? What is this?
Let's be honest. Being like, oh no, I can get fucked up.
Yeah.
I can get juiced up. But no, you've got to take the notes so you can't.
Yeah.
And
what the fuck?
You basically got to lead the session because I don't want to because I'm high as fuck.
Yeah, what the fuck?
No.
What?
No, thank you.
First of all, this whole I hope this is a joke.
I don't think it is a joke.
I really hope this is a joke.
I don't think this is a joke. But do you want to know what? No, you're not the asshole.
Of course you're not the asshole.
If you want to have a smoke before the game,
if everyone's okay with it and everyone's agreed. The DM and the other player are doing it. It's just absolutely wild that the DM's like...
You can't, because I want to.
Because you need to take important...
Basically, because the
notes.
the DM had to do too much work the time where you didn't take the notes.
Like,
don't be the DM if you can't be that ass. Jesus.
But I also, I don't know anything about edibles or smoking really, but it sounds like you did it just to spite them. If that's the case, don't do things like that just out of spite. I know you said that you were sick of leading the story, etc. But
Oh, do you mean if this was the first time you did it?
Yeah, you're just doing it to spite them. I don't know. You don't need to do that at all.
What if they wanted to do it just to get on that level?
Yeah, maybe I'm reading into it too much, but look after yourselves, watch yourselves.
It's only
I know.
It depends what it is. Hey, it depends what it is.
Yeah, I know.
It's a different thing over here.
It is.
Because marijuana isn't legal.
Yeah, it's
here,
fucking rough.
It ain't great.
Real bad.
You can get some stinky shit that's cut with all sorts.
Yeah,
and it ain't good.
Yeah.
But if you're American or something like that, and you get it from
you can get it from actually safe places.
Safe place, then fucking fill your boots, man. There's nothing wrong with fucking. The fact that it's still not legal is actually far more harmful because you have fucking literal drug dealers.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
People who aren't the most savory type.
I completely agree.
Dealing with it.
Yeah, completely agreed.
So. Fucking do what you want, man.
Yeah,
seriously, do what you want.
And it must be so uncomfortable for you. I don't know. I think I'm projecting here a little bit.
Yeah.
It must be so maybe uncomfortable is not the word. Annoying for you. So you say, we're sick of having to lead the story. We're the people who take the notes.
Yeah.
We do it once, and then the DM's
boo. Yeah.
Stinks. That's so lame.
Not the asshole.
Yeah, I'm. You're not the asshole. Okay.
Not in the slightest.
And I think if it's something that bothers you, maybe you should talk to your DM and the other player about it.
Yeah. 100%.
Simply put.
God,
I feel like a 40-year-old woman.
Why?
Just you should watch yourselves, take care of yourselves.
At the same time, watch yourselves, because, if it isn't, too much of anything is bad.
Yeah. Please, don't be doing smoking that wacky backy.
The devil's lettuce.
The devil's lettuce.
If it's it depends, innit? It's like if you just do it now and then for a bit of crack, then fair enough. Yeah. But anything, too much of anything is bad.
Take care of yourselves,
Too
friends.
much of anything is bad.
That's it. Take care of yourselves.
Take care of yourselves.
This one is one from the Reddit. So I've organized these, not all submissions.
That's okay.
This next one is from the Reddit. So
as long as the content be contenting.
The title is, Am I the arsehole for telling a new player how they should distribute their ability scores? So I recently started a new campaign where one of the players is a first-time player. During the first session, I noticed that this new player's main stat was pretty low, 15 wisdom as a druid, we used point by. Now, I am by no means a D&D expert or anything, and I'm actually a pretty new player myself, but from what I've heard, the game is balanced from the players having 16 main stat. So I asked the player if they had added their racial points to their ability score. They play a tiefling. I had already checked with the DM if we used the optional Tasha's ability scores. So I told the player that they could add a point or two to wisdom and that they could use their other to dex and con. Beginning of the next session, I asked the player if they had added their ability scores, and they answered that they had added their points to charisma and intelligence, which is what you get as a tiefling. Now, I know that all players who build their characters exactly as they want to, but our party already has a wizard and a bard, so I was afraid the player would feel useless if they didn't focus on their niche. I asked them why they didn't add any to wisdom, and they answered that they felt their charisma and intelligence was low and wanted to round them out. I told them that the way D&D works is basically if you try to be good at everything, you'll be bad at everything, and it's better just to focus on your main and secondary stats to be the most efficient.
Okay.
They just shrugged and said they wanted to stick with the ability scores that they had chosen either way, and I said fine, and that I just wanted to make sure they knew since they're a new player. I don't want to come across as if I tried to min-max another player's character or something. I just don't want them to feel like their character is unuseful later in the game. Do you think I am the asshole? The DM is impartial as always and said you can build your character however you like as long as you think it's fun, which I respect. I feel like this is such a hard one.
This is a tough one because it sounds like you're saying one thing, but almost like pushing the agenda of another.
What do you mean?
So like you're saying like, it's okay, do what you want, but at the same time, this is the most optimal way to play. And if you don't play this way, you're probably not going to have that much fun.
I feel like there's a few things that I agree with and I disagree with.
I think there's a few things that I agree with and disagree with as well.
I think the things I disagree with are you can either be good at you can't be good at everything because you will be bad at everything. I think that's incorrect.
Yeah.
And you need to stick to your niche.
That's
incorrect as well. Those are the things I disagree with. And however, do I wish my first time playing someone had really told me the importance of where my stats go and how they're going to affect me throughout the game.
Basically exactly this.
Yeah. I would have liked that.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Because we had a similar situation. The DM was very much like, do whatever's fun to you, which I completely agree with.
I do agree with.
By the way, completely agree with.
To a degree.
Especially now I'm a more experienced player.
Yeah.
In the beginning, my very poor choices in terms of stats and race and stat distribution made my late game shit.
Yes.
And made me resent it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I think there's a middle ground.
Yeah, I think there is a middle ground, yeah.
I think there's a middle ground here, but at the same time, how do you tell someone that this is important without them knowing how important it is? How do you
get that across?
How do you get that across?
Without literally telling them.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it also depends on the table. Because if the DM plays a lax roleplay based combat's here, but it's not really there to be life threatening, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that argument doesn't stand up.
Yeah.
But if you're playing a game like mine, and you do that with your stats, you're going to struggle.
Yeah, you're going to have a bad time, and especially if no one else is doing the same.
But then you hear what the DM says.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter as long as they're having fun.
As long as you're having fun.
Then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't matter, does it?
But then again, did that matter to me? Yeah.
It depends what type of player you turn out to be.
Well, exactly.
Like, this is the thing. Like, playing Dungeons & Dragons, look, when you play Dungeons and Dragons for the first time, you're gonna make mistakes.
Wild West. It's the Wild West. You have no idea what you're doing.
You're gonna make mistakes.
Of course you are.
You're going to do things wrong.
Of course you are.
Pick feats that suck. You're going to put your stats in the wrong places. You're gonna pick spells that are bad.
Yeah, of course.
And like you're just gonna learn from experience.
Of course.
And like no matter how much you tell somebody, they're probably not going to understand what you're saying until they experience those
happens.
Things.
Exactly.
So offering them that advice is fine. As long as you don't say, this is the way to play.
That's it. It's so hard.
Which it doesn't sound like you did.
It doesn't. It doesn't sound like OP did this at all. Like, yes, did OP maybe put some of their personal opinions into it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But is everything subjective anyway? Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things where it's the first people you play D&D with, even if they don't end up being your forever group, even if it's an XYZ experience, right? In a way, they're going to shape how you see D&D.
Yes.
And it's a really hard one. Because it's like, do you let them sink or swim by themselves? Do they have to just go through it themselves?
I mean, they haven't let them sink or swim by themselves. They've offered pretty, good advice for somebody who likes to play, not even optimally, just, you want your stat in the right place. That's good advice.
Yeah, and you know what? To have the experience to be like, we have a wizard and a bard, specifically the bard who's charisma based, like, we know through experience how that feels. Like, if you were to have two people constantly competing in terms of something like charisma or doing the same thing. And I understand OP's wanting to be like, I don't want you to feel like you're being useless.
Yes.
I understand that.
But
how do you tell someone that without their experience?
Am I the asshole? No.
No, I don't think you are. No, I don't think you are.
As long as you left it at that point, being like, I've told them, and then I've just reminded them that they could put them anywhere they want.
Definitely.
And if they're like, no, I'm happy doing it.
Definitely.
And as long as the dungeon master's like, as long as they're having fun, it's okay. Then as long as you left it there, I don't think you're the asshole.
Yeah, and I think the point where you would have been the asshole is if you were like, no,
you have to.
This is stupid. You have to do it like this.
You're throwing.
Yeah, you're throwing. Basically. Yeah, you're being a sandbag. Yeah. Like, you have to do it like this because this is superior and this is why. And if you don't do this, you're stupid.
And the thing is, like, as long as their main stat is still, like if 15's like the highest still or close to the highest, then fair enough. It doesn't matter that it's not as high as it could be. As long as it's like, you still want to put your stats in the right place.
Yeah.
I think that's still a good rule, even for a newbie. Yeah. If you're a druid, you still want wisdom to be your highest.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Otherwise you probably because when you try and even if you're a role player and you want to cast a spell like Charm Person or something like that, if it fucking fails because your stats suck, you're not having a good time.
Yeah.
Like, putting your stats in the right place can still be good for roleplay.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. Totally.
Like, that's the thing. I think a lot of people, like, who are so, like, hardline about these things forget that, like, it's good for roleplay as well.
Yeah, it is. Just very much so. Yeah.
But we see all these comments all the time. It's like, playing suboptimal, like, and like, the amount of people on TikTok when we've posted a video like this being like, if you are putting your stats in the wrong places and you're hurting the party, you're throwing for the party.
See, I just completely disagree with that.
And it comes to the table, I think.
Like, I completely disagree with that. Like, if someone did that at our table, we wouldn't be like, you're throwing, but we would feel bad for them.
Yeah, I think I'd feel bad for them. I'd feel bad for them, like when the spells don't land.
I'd feel bad for them.
The saves are always getting made because the DC is low.
I can't see a world in which any of us would be like, "Oh, you're throwing." Yeah. Like, I think again, we play the game to have fun. Yeah. But it depends what you
class as fun.
What do you get fun from? Yeah. I get fun from doing loads of fucking damage.
Yeah.
That's what I get loads of fun from.
Yeah.
I get fun from doing that. I get fun from talking to NPCs. Yeah. That's why I always stack my charisma.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different ways to interpret this, but I don't think OP's the asshole here at all.
No, I don't think you're the asshole. I think if you'd have pushed it and kept pushing it, that's when you'd have been the asshole.
Totally. And also, I think there's the other end of the spectrum of people being like, I don't want to tell them what to do. They have to form their own opinions. And then
not even helping.
Let them just drown.
Yeah.
Because there's so much in D&D. Like, there's so much. And
there's so much about it.
It's the curse of knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
And there is an element to which you have to just let people learn themselves.
Yeah, but
right?
if somebody doesn't realize on let's just say they're really hurt on their turn, and bonus action potion is a thing, and they've got a potion, and then you don't go just so you know you've got a potion and it's a bonus action which you've still got.
Yeah.
That isn't telling somebody what to do. That's letting them know their options.
Totally. Totally. I completely agree.
And here it's just so you know, you can put the +2/+1 wherever you want.
And I understand why the other player was I just want to round them out. Fair enough.
Fair
enough. Would I do that now? No.
Some people dislike seeing negatives.
Yeah.
So they just want to put the
me.
They want to see they want to put the +2/+1 in the 8 and the 10, so they've got an 11 and a 10.
Totally.
And they've got no negatives, fine.
Yeah, totally.
As long as the DM knows that they aren't going to get left behind.
And I think from the DM as well. We've gone on about this for ages.
I guess it's because this comes up so much.
Yeah, I think from the DM perspective as well, if you have a new player and you see something like this happening, not sure where to put the stats, kind of just doing whatever with the stats, right? I think maybe you should be open to allowing them later on, after they kind of realize the repercussions of what these things are, allow them to have a bit of a clean slate and allow them to change if they want to.
Go back to the original, but your +2/+1
exactly. And the same applies to even letting them change even letting them change their class. I know that's a really controversial thing. I know people don't like people changing class halfway through or whatever.
Yeah, but why do you give a fuck? Why do you give that much of a fuck?
Yeah, why?
If the things I would have done to be able to change subclass or change class in my first campaign,
God, me too.
I would have loved it because I thought something was good and then realized it's not the way I wanted to play.
Yeah.
And then got I realized very, very early on that I like to play melee.
Yeah.
I like martial classes.
Me too.
I usually like to play something that's got a bit of both. I'll either multi-class or go into a Gish class or something like that. Swords bard, something that's what I really like. That's what I enjoy.
Yeah.
So when I was a warlock and I'd picked fiend, and I really wanted to pick hexblade, because that's just the way I want to play. Matthew was like, yeah, sure,
yeah,
we'll do a multi-class thing, so you've got a little bit in hexblade, and that made me feel good. Why are you saying no?
Yeah, I know.
To a new player who
doesn't really understand,
who didn't understand at the beginning,
the repercussions of picking these things, especially. Yeah, I don't think this person's the asshole at all.
Imagine if somebody picked cleric and then were like, oh, I'm the healer.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. Well, I don't want to do that. So no,
not the arsehole. I don't think so. No, I really don't think so. I'd be so interested to know what you guys think. I would be so interested to know. What do you all think?
Tell me if you disagree.
Tell me what you think. All right, this next one. This is a submission, and this has been sent in by Anonymous, and she goes by she, her.
Okay.
This is a longer
Thank
one,
you, Anonymous.
but it's because there is a lot of context to it.
Go for it.
Oh my God. Sorry.
Interesting.
What do you think?
Nice. Real nice.
Am I the asshole forgetting main character syndrome? Give me what? Fill the silence.
Oh, 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 oh.
Oh, thank you.
What do you think? Rate my singing.
10.
Yeah.
Out of 20. Ah! No, great.
I want to mark out of 10 in the comments. For my
Go
singing.
on. Mark him.
Mark out of 10 in the comments. And if it isn't algorithm out of 10, I'm going to cry.
Oh my God, the amount of people.
The amount of comments.
Algorithm.
I just love the amount of shit that is just so funny.
What was it? Someone was like, "Hello, I'm Al." And
I'm Algo.
I'm Algo. I'm Algo from Rhythm or something like that. And then someone was like, "That is the name of my next bard."
That is the name of my next bard. Oh, keep them coming, baby. Keep them coming.
Am I the arsehole for getting main character syndrome? Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and gentle beings. Love the show, and I am looking forward to being judged on this topic, as I am sure the title is already opening a lot of opinions. Background: I have not been playing D&D for a long time, and this is concerning the first ever campaign I played in. Sorry, I burped. It was a beginner-friendly linear campaign with the majority of people being new, with only the DM and another player being veterans. I did not know anyone going in. I met the DM through a mutual friend, and I was a very lonely person after COVID, with basically having no social life outside of work. When I heard that this friend had D&D, I basically begged to join. I already had a character done in D&D Beyond that had been sitting there for 6 months before meeting this guy. I was lonely, excited, and I wanted to have social interactions again. I wanted to have fun. I did do theatre as a kid, and I am generally a bit of a dramatic person in real life. Me and you both.
Margaret is the most dramatic person
so dramatic.
On Earth.
D&D for me is something like Critical Role. You roleplay and you go on adventures, with every interaction in D&D being roleplay and not a reflection of who you are in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I was not afraid to improvise and drag the team forward. None of the others took the initiative as much as me. I had a solid character and I knew what kind of person she was. When no one else picked up the leader role, I just took it. I did not plan for that to happen, but no one else would talk or really knew how to talk in situations we appeared in. This is not to say that I railroaded everything. The DM gave everyone their own moments. I, however, noticed that I talked a lot and took a lot of the NPC dialogue and did a lot more role-playing. Again, not all, but I felt like I took a lot. So I went onto a D&D Discord server I lurk about in and I asked for advice. One of them was to get the party together in a tavern and have them talk to each other and do some team bonding and some roleplay in a relaxed manner.
Mm-hmm.
The tavern idea was something I brought up to the DM and he liked it. It kind of happened, but only I and another player had a moment in there. No team bonding. Half of the party did not join in until the end, and then we ended on a time-sensitive quest. Now that I think about it, we had one short team bonding moment where every character had a dirty bag opened, and not by choice. What is a dirty bag?
Don't know.
Like a secret?
Like a secret, yeah.
Yeah. After it's just washing. After that, I tried to take a step back slowly. I got closer to the other veteran player and we talked a lot about D&D, and outside of the campaign sessions, tried to talk a lot of the other players about what their characters were like, and I did fan art and even a group picture of everyone. Badly drawn, but still. Hey, I doubt that. The last arc of the campaign, I was mostly very quiet and tried to give the others a real chance to lead because it was so obvious that the DM had created this area for another player. It went so slow that the veteran player had to take charge because the only one talking was the DM. In the end, I did do a few more active things, but considerably less than originally. I did talk to the veteran player about me feeling like I took up a lot, and he said, yes, I did, but they're all grown-ups, and if someone wants to do more, they can. He said it would only ever be a problem if I took an opportunity away from the others. Now, the thing that really hurt me and has made me reach out was that the DM had said to the veteran player that I had main character syndrome, and in a not so nice way. That hurts because I had said, hey, I feel this way, can we try doing this? Maybe I could try to make the other players more active. Maybe beckoning was the wrong choice. Maybe being quiet was the wrong choice. But I took the easy way out. Am I the asshole?
No.
I feel like this is a perfect example of you and the group having different play styles.
100%.
Like, you said it yourself, OP. You think D&D is like a Critical Role thing, right?
Heavy roleplay, loads of talking to NPCs, loads of like party interaction.
Yeah.
Like taking time to just like roleplay out like gentle scenes and things like that. And not everyone plays like that.
No, definitely not.
You are just in the wrong party.
Yeah, that's genuinely, that's all I have to say about
100%.
it, is I think you're in the wrong party. You know, if no one else is talking, if no one else is taking the initiative, if no one else is having the dialogue with the NPCs and you're the only one doing that, like, to me, that doesn't say main character syndrome. That says, it
doesn't matter.
That doesn't say main character syndrome to me. That just says you're a role player in a group who doesn't really role play that much.
And desperately trying your best to get them to role play.
And you know, the fact that you went to a server and you were like,
I need some help.
Yeah.
And then you went to the dungeon master and you were like, I have this idea. Do you think it would be good to try and get the group role playing?
Yeah.
And the dungeon master was like, yeah, that sounds great. And then you tried it. And then you tried to take a little bit of a back seat so somebody else could take the initiative.
Yeah.
Like, you've tried everything you can and they aren't biting any of the bait. So you are now in the situation where I need a different group.
Yeah, like I think, you know, no one's put you in this situation. No. Like, thankfully, it doesn't sound like this is like a malicious thing.
No.
You're just the only person who interacts in that way. But I also think for the DM to then be like, oh, she has main character syndrome.
That's asshole behavior.
That's asshole behavior.
For you to go to the dungeon master and be like, I feel already like I'm a little bit of the main character.
And for the DM to go to another player,
it's just nasty.
That is nasty. And like, that also suggests to me, the thing is though, if it wasn't for you, how would the DM progress the story?
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Or would it be a case of they didn't really do this stuff?
Yeah.
And you say you joined in and maybe they just didn't do things like this, and then you've come in and you have a different play style.
Yeah.
So the DMs had to adapt to that when normally they wouldn't. Which, that happens.
Like, the thing is as well, me and Margaret are both strong role players.
Yeah.
Like, we are more than happy to, like, have NPC dialogue and inter-party, like, conversations and, like, moments at night where we, like, talk about deep, meaningful things and our backstories and stuff like that. We are like that. And I have played with somebody who has been like this.
Yeah.
Like, and I have literally been like, oh, what do you think? Oh, like, do you want to like talk to this person? And they literally be like, no.
Yeah.
Because they have literally no interest in it.
Yeah, and because they don't know how to. And we say it all the time, right? We always get advice submissions being like, how do I bring this one person out of their shell? It's so much easier when you're a group of role players to bring in someone who isn't. However, if you're a group of people who don't role play and there's one
person, it's almost it's not impossible.
It's really hard.
It's really fucking hard.
Really hard.
Like, the thing is, when it comes to role play, you have to be willing to want to do it.
Exactly. You have to want to do it.
Because, like, starting role-playing for the first time is fucking hard as fuck.
Oh my God, it is.
Awkward as fuck.
It is.
It feels cringe as hell.
Yep.
And you're all, like, nervous and you don't know how to do it.
Yep.
So, like, you have to really want to do it.
Yeah, you have to.
And if you don't, like... and people are trying to force you to do it, there's nothing wrong with that either.
No, my God.
Not wanting to roleplay is
completely fine.
Just
completely
wanting the
valid.
dungeon master to tell you the story, and you to just give, like, short answers and short, like, and things like that, and just come and roll your dice and do combat.
Exactly.
Like,
such a valid way to play.
Fine.
Yeah, such a valid way to play.
If that's the way you want to play, that is fine.
Totally. I feel like, first of all, no. Oh my God, of course you're not the arsehole. I was actually going to say no one's the arsehole here. You just have different play styles.
The
DM for telling another player that you have main character syndrome, that's really shit. That's really nasty.
It's fucking rude.
And OP, I honestly, I know this was your first time playing D&D, and, I'm sorry. I think find a group
that
actually role plays,
that, like, wants
and
to
you'll
role
have
play.
a much better time.
You'll have a way better time.
And, like, she's like, when it was this other player's main quest or whatever, it went so slow. What are you doing?
Just, they don't, like, it's tough because they want the dungeon master to just move the story along, and the dungeon master might be asking them questions, and they might be like, yeah, and then there's just, like, silence while somebody, like, waits for the next person to talk, but nobody wants to do it.
I can see that.
So, like, it maybe doesn't even take any longer, but it just feels
like it's slow.
Feels slow.
Yeah. No, absolutely not the arsehole.
Not the arsehole in the slightest.
Not the arsehole.
You just need to find a group that fits the way you play.
Yeah, agreed.
All right.
Have these all been not the assholes so far?
I think so.
I think so. This next one is from the Reddit, and the title is...
Here we go.
Am I the arsehole for inadvertently driving off my dungeon master? So I was in this Dungeons & Dragons group with an old friend who was the dungeon master and 4 mutual friends. The group lasted for about a year or so, with very few actual sessions in that time. As tends to be the case when multiple adults try to make regular plans, scheduling was a pain.
Yeah, if that ain't real life, baby.
Yeah, the death of most games, unfortunately.
If that ain't the fucking world we live in.
The DM had a tendency of calling off the entire session anytime someone couldn't make it. Rather frustrating when you're the person willing to call in at work to make it to a session if you must. I had expressed my frustrations about this to the DM on multiple occasions and was typically met with a half-assed apology and the sentence no passionate player ever wants to hear. It's just a game. I mostly stayed because she was the only DM I had at the time. Months pass, no session. Eventually, she puts in the D&D group chat that she wants to have a conversation in August 2022 about how we want to schedule the campaign going forward. Fast forward to January 2023, still no word. In fact, she was posting tidbits from this new campaign she was in to her story like the rest of us wouldn't see it. This will come back up in a bit. One of the group members has had this idea for a session that I really liked and was excited to play in when he invited me. He invites the former DM, she's in. Session goes off despite 2 of the 4 players not being able to make it, and it was an otherwise a good time. So the new DM gets into the group chat about a week later, and he's basically trying to schedule the next session. Former DM is unsure if she can keep going to. Sure enough, scheduling conflicts. When new DM says something to the effect about it being down to having adult lives, I stepped up and pointed out that she had us all waiting till August to talk about her new campaign, and she never said a word about it since. I proceeded to call her out by asking how long she expected the life happens excuse to work. I then pointed out that she herself seemed to have no issue following through as a player, but had several as a DM. Needless to say, she didn't take it well. She left the party and left a long-winded message on our Discord server, citing her reasons and, from my perspective, doing her typical victim routine. I thought about posting this in a D&D subreddit, but I figured the context of the situation was justified posting it here. Am I the arsehole?
Yeah.
Of course you're the fucking arsehole. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Right.
How can you type that all out?
Look, I understand that never getting to play and saying that it's going to come in August and then not getting anything till January and then still not getting anything
frustrating.
Isn't good. And
that
dungeon master
is bad.
That dungeon master is also a bit of an asshole for doing that.
That DM is never going to run that game.
Never going to run that game.
Never going to run that game. That's not going to happen. But the fact that the thing is this, it's all about the attitude, and it's all about the way you've handled yourself. What does it tell you, emotional thinking being who has critical thinking?
Me?
Yeah, you. Entity.
Me.
Turn their critical thinking skills on.
Turn it on. Turn the switch on.
What does it tell you? Okay, when a new DM, she's not DM'd before. Okay, she wants to start up this new campaign. She makes a group chat, talks about it. No one says anything for months. No one. Not just her. Everyone. No one says it. However, she's playing another game as a player. And she's posting it to a story just to show how much of a good time she's having. Because she probably is, right? No one says anything. Not even you. Not even the person who posted. No one follows up, okay? I'll get invited to go play another game. DM plays as a player. No problem. What does that say to you?
You don't want to DM.
You don't want to DM. And you know what? Do other people actually even want to play in this game as well?
Clearly not.
If no one has messaged since August to January, no one.
If you wanted to, if anyone wanted to, they would have messaged.
If anyone wanted to.
But they didn't because they didn't want to.
Yes, DM shouldn't have said, I'll DM.
The thing is, right, if you don't want to DM, just be honest and say you don't want to DM.
Things change. That's okay.
Yeah, you think you want to DM, and then you DM, and then you go, actually, this is the worst thing on earth.
Yeah, don't leave people in a lurch. I get it. Don't do that. However, if anyone wanted to do it,
they would have said.
They would have fucking said.
Yes.
And that's what pisses me off the most. I'm pissed off because this first of all, their username is TheGreatMightyFool. Yes, Boo Boo the Fool. That's you.
That's you, bitch.
If they wanted to play, they would have said something.
Yeah.
Right? And then I hate the attitude of being like, she left us on red. And then to not say anything privately to her, by the way, doesn't sound like there's been a private conversation that's gone on. You only say something about it in a group chat.
Yeah.
You say something publicly. And then you go, how long do you think it's going to work for? Come on.
Handle yourself with a bit of grace and decorum.
Oh my God. And then,
I feel like this person is they must be quite young.
Or a man.
Or a man, yeah. To be like, how long do you think the fucking real life man do you just not understand that people are busy? Do you just not understand that, first of all, people sometimes just don't want to do something. Second of all, work, social commitments, they all get in the way.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just, as an adult, you just constantly exhausted.
Oh my God, as an adult, there's so many things you have to do.
Constantly
and you know what?
Exhausted.
Even regardless of that, let's say you're an adult who doesn't struggle with adult things at all. There's so many other factors in a person's life that can affect them.
100%.
And I just hate...
Take us with our dog.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It just... he's fine now, which is great. But for those 2 weeks where he wasn't fine, we just had no energy because it just saps all of your enthusiasm because you're worrying constantly about this thing.
Yeah.
Your brain's on that thing and it just mentally destroys you.
Yeah.
And you just have no energy to do anything. We're still reeling from that now. I can tell.
Yeah, definitely.
We're going to bed early and we're just laying there and watching things because we have no
desire
energy
to do anything. Yeah.
We're coming out of that now, but that's what it does to you.
It really does.
And dungeon mastering when you don't want to dungeon master can do that to you.
And it feels like this whole thing, right? it feels like this person was waiting for this to happen.
Yeah.
It to me, it reads as, well, still nothing. They posted and they kept saying this and being like, but they were still posting their story. This will come up later. It's almost like you were watching it and
waiting for the moment.
You were waiting for it.
Yeah,
you were
like,
waiting for them to fail.
This is my mic drop.
Yeah, exactly. Which is it.
Cringe.
First of all, if you do that, you need to have a hard look at yourself and think why you want people to fail around you so much, because that's a problem with you, not them. And I don't know why this has pissed me off so much.
I don't know, but it has.
It says everything at the bottom. She just did her typical victim in quotes, victim routine. Tell me you have no empathy as a human being. Tell me you have no critical thinking. Fuck you. You suck. You're an asshole. Why am I so pissed off? I feel like this was just done in such bad faith.
Yeah.
Bad faith.
I agree.
Waiting for this person to fail. If you wanted to do it, you would have said something. You would have opened your stupid mouth and said something if you wanted it.
Get him.
And to call her out in front of everyone instead of having a private word with her, you're a child. You're an asshole.
You're an asshole. You are the asshole. 100%.
Why does that piss me off so much? That's rustled my jimmies.
I need the toilet.
No.
And I'm back.
Bit calmer. Ranted off camera.
You're still seething about it though.
Yeah.
In the interim.
Don't know why that annoyed me so bad.
It's just degen behaviour,
yeah,
innit?
Just really bad faith
proper
behaviour.
degen.
So annoying. Anyway. Oh, right. This next one is a submission.
Go for it.
So,
I got it. I'm on it.
This has been sent in by Caroline, and she goes by she, her.
Thank you, Caroline, for your submission.
Thank you, Caroline. Hi, Margaret and Jack. My name is Caroline. I'm a DM and a player, and I get lots of advice and insight from your podcast, and you two crack me up. Thanks for that. Thanks, Caroline.
She is, Caroline. Your kind words.
What a joy. Not a problem. I've been a player for about 5 years and a DM for 3. I've ran mini campaigns and one-shots, and in the beginning of the year, I finally wanted to run my first big campaign. I asked a few friends, some of them new players, some of them long-time players, and everyone was excited to join. Amongst them was a fellow DM who had run campaigns I had played in before. A few days later, and when he found out who was joining, he contacted me and asked if I wanted him to run the campaign. I declined and I told him no because the whole purpose was that I wanted to run my first big campaign as a DM, and the players said they were excited to play in the campaign with me as their DM. Then he suggested co-DMing with me so that it wouldn't be too stressful on me. I was hesitant, but more or less out of politeness, I agreed, and I wish I hadn't. I'm making all the maps, he repurposes them. I put in hours and days for prep and come up with these elaborate adventures. His adventures are straight up trash with no meaning and no ties to what's going on in the campaign or what happened previously. He railroads players, he keeps putting half-assed storylines in front of the players and confusing riddles, and when the players get confused, he says, yeah, maybe that was a little too hard for you guys. What pisses me off the most is that he wants to keep dropping overpowered magic items and magic weapons for the players, and I keep having to stop him. For example, I see no reason as to why a level 1 character should have a deck of many things or a +2 sword. Even some of the players approached me and complained about his sessions and that it's neither fun nor immersive. Last session he DM'd was an absolute mess where he decided where the characters are moving to and railroaded everyone into having no agency of what they're going to do. To the point where when it was my turn, I simply said, what is it that you want my character to do, because I was so irritated. We talked after the session and he said, I guess it was just too complicated for you guys. Next time I need to make it more simple. I said nothing because I would have chewed his face off. But should I confront him about this? I feel like he is destroying my campaign, or am I just being an asshole?
No, you need to just confront him.
Yeah, like, you know what? As I read through that, like, this is not a question of am I the asshole at all, is it? Like,
this is more like an advice.
This is more like an advice.
You need to just talk to this person and just be like, I made a mistake saying that I would like to co-DM because I have no desire to co-DM.
Yeah, you can even say, like, I only said yes because it was my first time DMing and I wasn't sure, and kind of out of politeness.
Out of politeness, yeah.
Like, the thing is, right, you say that this person's DM'd for you before. Like, were his sessions when he DM'd for you before like this?
Yeah.
Or is it just since he's co-DMing with you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Were they always like that?
Yeah, like...
Is it just because they're trying to, like, DM in your world and they're trying to like do like one-off things and they're trying to like link it to yours and it's not working.
I would really like to hope that they're not doing this intentionally.
Yeah.
Right? I would like. Imagine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that would be asshole behavior.
Also, to approach a new DM and be like, "Do you just want me to do it?"
Rude.
Bit rude.
Like,
and then to be
really
like,
rude.
"Do you want me to co-DM with you?" The thing is, I can see the co-DMing question coming actually from a good place, but not after, do you just want me to DM?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you wanted to help somebody, you would begin with the co-DMing thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Or
not, do you want me to do
not even the co-DMing though, would you? You would come in and be like, I'm a DM, I'm here. If you ever have any questions, I can help you. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I just really fucking weird vibe, to be honest.
I would just literally speak to this person and say, I know that I said yes. I said it more of a place of politeness.
Yeah.
And I want this campaign to just be my thing. Is that okay?
And now,
you can run something separate.
Exactly. And, now that I've gotten a bit further and I'm more confident than ever.
Yeah.
I just want it to be my thing.
I just want it to be my thing. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this weird confrontation thing.
Nope.
What a weird situation. No, you're not the asshole at all,
not
Caroline.
The asshole, no.
No, absolutely not at all. No.
I don't think anyone's really the asshole here.
No. I agree.
I think them asking if they could dungeon master because they saw who was in the group is a bit asshole.
That's a bit weird.
I don't think anyone's truly the asshole
here. Agreed. All right, thank you, Caroline, for your submission.
Caroline.
So this next one, this has been sent in by Anonymous, and he goes by him. Thank you, Anonymous.
Sorry, I was busy writing. Thank you, Anonymous, for your submission to our podcast.
Am I the arsehole for getting angry and leaving the session in the middle of combat? So for some context, I play D&D 5e with a relatively large group, total of 7 including me.
Okay.
I have the most knowledge about the game at the table, and for this game, I decided to play a chronology wizard, and we are currently level 13 in a futuristic setting.
Okay.
I play my wizard with very few damaging spells, but in brackets, I mean, who doesn't love Fireball? And mostly support style spells, like Vortex Warp, Wall of Force, Resilient Sphere. The amount of times we would have been dead without Vortex Warp in your campaigns.
Vortex Warp is like such an unbelievably good spell.
So good.
Like to rescue your friends who are like down, or like to put the tank in the right position, or like even to attempt to get some people away.
Yep.
It's so
great.
It's so goated.
I think it's also important to say that a well-built wizard with a good player is a force to be reckoned with at the table. Agreed.
Very, very correct.
During combat, I find myself holding my actions to cast spells in order to react to what the enemy does. An example being holding the spell Wall of Force when a dragon uses a breath weapon so I can protect the group from damage, or using Vortex Warp on my companions that are being surrounded and are about to be attacked. I like playing this support style because the table has new players and I enjoy letting them shine and have cool moments because I helped. The DM, however, does not enjoy my support. Without warning, one combat occurred where the group got ambushed and I had to make a dex saving throw at disadvantage. One natural 20 and the other dice was a natural 19, bringing me to 24. You can imagine the hype at the table. I was told I succeeded, but a bracelet that took away half of my magic was attached to my wrist. I was told if I failed, I would have lost all my magic. With my successful roll, I lost access to all my higher level spell slots and only had lower ones available. At this point in the game, all my lowest spell slots were small things I used for roleplay or counter spells. I was then told the only way to get it off is with a successful Dispel Magic check of 18, which would take an action to do so, and I only had 2 third level slots left. At this point, I was a bit frustrated being nerfed this hard only because I play my wizard so well, but I tried to stay positive and not to ruin the mood. Instead of using my whole turn to maybe get the bracelet off, I used a magic item I had to cast a 5th level spell, which instantly led to me being told I don't have the spells for that. I then reminded the DM that magic item casting the spell is not me, so I'm only the conduit for the spell. That's when I heard him mumble, "I should have known you would have had tricks like that." At this point of frustration, frustrated because the comment told me I was being focused on this fight for no reason. The combat eventually gets to the point where I'm being ganged up on, which is when I use a different magic item to teleport into a house far away from the enemies. Surprise, surprise, the house is trapped and I'm now locked in an anti-magic prison. At this point, I'm over the combat and focus fire and past my next turn, only just to tell the group I'm leaving, exit the Discord call without warning, and do other things. I ended up speaking to one of the other players, and he told me they said it felt like I was being ganged up on and not allowed to do anything. The DM's response for this was that he had plans to counter other people, but they just never came up. I still play with this group, and since that event months ago, I've lost the magic item that lets me cast spells in a situation that I was not allowed to stop. I love the group and we are all close friends, but it feels like I'm getting punished harder than others. So am I the arsehole for being targeted for playing too well?
Okay.
Right. This is a really, really hard one.
This is a really tough one.
This is a really, really, really tough one.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lack of communication.
There is a cavern. There is a canyon. There is a black hole's worth of communication in between you and your dungeon master.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Now, I don't think, OP, you're wrong for wanting a powerful character.
No.
Goes without saying.
Totally fine.
I don't think you're wrong for your play style. Very valid play style.
Yeah.
I think you're completely correct when you say a well-built wizard with a good player is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, it's not only a force to be reckoned with, it's a... I have seen a dungeon master that I have been a player in the game of play with a high-level wizard who was a clever player.
Yes, very much so.
That really wanted to almost dismantle every combat, find the way around the combat to make it trivial, almost trivialize it.
And they could because they were playing a high-level wizard. And they were a good player.
They were good. They were a player, a player that just understands the rules and mechanics of the game.
Very much so.
Well, can do this.
Yeah, agreed. It doesn't mean it's not frustrating.
It doesn't mean it's not frustrating for the dungeon master.
I think, to be honest, we're a little bit biased because we pretty much exactly this.
This exact situation.
I would say that it sounds like OP's intentions are not malicious.
No.
I feel like the situation we witnessed were maybe not malicious, but there was definitely a power play and there was definitely a player versus DM mentality in what we'd seen.
And the DM had no intentions of that DM versus player.
No, never, not at all.
It was just player trying to
pushing
beat
and pushing
DM.
and pushing and pushing.
Trying to outsmart, trying to trivialize, trying to push it to the point where the DM was frustrated.
Very, very much so.
Yeah.
And that was an intentional thing.
Yeah.
And I do not think that this is it.
I don't think this is it.
We're a little bit biased because we've seen this firsthand and we saw how much the DM just had a bad time.
Had a bad time because of it.
And how much the DM had to double think everything they were saying and had to really consider and maybe had to be more strict with everyone because of this one person.
Because of the one person, yeah.
And so keep in mind, everything we're going to say is probably from a point of biasness.
Yeah, so we're going to try and view it from every angle.
Yeah.
So, okay. Right. Chronology Wizard, already really fucking strong.
Busted.
One of the strongest subclasses in the entirety of D&D.
Yeah, you sound like you know your shit as well.
Yeah, and 13th level, you're going to start getting some fucking decent high-level spell slots.
Yeah.
And if you're using them not for damage, but to, trap prominent people on the battleground with, spheres and things like that, it can become frustrating for the dungeon master.
Very much so, yeah.
You can see in campaign 1 when Scanlan starts to get high level spells and he just I'm just going to resilient sphere this person and just take them out of the fight. We're just going to kill all of these people and then we're going to drop the sphere and we're all just going to nuke them. It's that for dungeon masters doesn't feel great most of the time.
For players,
feels
amazing.
Feels fantastic.
Yeah.
So if the dungeon master in the situation is getting frustrated with you being that clever, using your spells in those really potent, almost combat breaking ways, they should be I'm struggling to balance you in particular.
Exactly. And before we kind of get on to that, it sounds like the players aren't bothered.
Yeah, sounds like the players aren't bothered.
That's only speaking from the example we have here.
Yes.
It doesn't sound like the rest of the party care.
Yeah.
The rest of the party, especially because they all spoke and they were yeah, you were definitely getting ganged up on. It sounds like that's not a problem. It very easily could have been a problem.
Yeah.
I think, and that's the thing. This is why min-maxing is frowned upon so badly. And this isn't even min-maxing. This is just being a smart player.
It could
right?
be, we don't know.
It could be. Like, that's the problem of doing something like min-maxing in a group of people who don't.
Yeah.
Because one person is obviously always going to stand out more.
Yeah.
But, at the same time, OP says, I intentionally pick support spells because I want the new players to experience being able to do the cool things, being able to do the damage.
And then you use the example, I wait for the dragon to do its breath attack and then hold my wall of force.
Yeah.
That is, yes, a support because you're saving the rest of the party. But for the dungeon master, you are literally taking out
a whole mechanic of
a dragon.
Yeah.
A dragon.
And it's so hard.
It's
so
fine
hard
line.
because, of course, you want to protect your party with a wall of force to stop it.
It's a fantastic mechanic.
Yeah. But then your DM isn't getting a chance to do the things that they wanted to do because the DM is a player as well. And we saw this. We saw this in the very last combat we had with that high-level wizard, with that DM. The bad person had many things they could have done, but the wizard made sure that they didn't.
Like, in that last combat, that wizard literally just did nothing but counterspell.
Yeah.
And let's just take an exact same scenario. Campaign 1, last fight, Scanlan does nothing but counterspell. And Matthew Mercer understands how to balance that. Matthew Mercer is a fantastic dungeon master who's experienced, who understands how to balance that. Our dungeon master at the time didn't.
Of course not. It was like their first time DMing.
Yeah, properly at like a really high level. Of
course.
So it's like, there's nothing wrong with you playing this way, but so there's one thing that I want to touch on before I conclude it.
Yeah. Sorry. This. Is
the bracelet that gets snapped onto your wrist.
Yes.
That bracelet was never going to take away half of your magic.
It was always going to take away all of it. You just succeeded.
I think that was a hotfix in the moment.
Yeah.
The bracelet was going to not get snapped onto your wrist because you were rolling with disadvantage.
Yep.
But they desperately needed to nerf you in the moment.
So they just did it.
It's still snapped onto your wrist, but it only took away half your magic.
They just did it. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Again, I've seen it in campaign 2. Like, the Mage Slayer thing that they did, I won't spoil it for anyone, but like, a collar literally gets put around Caleb's neck and he can't cast magic.
Yeah.
And like, there are sometimes in campaigns, there are things that are designed to attack this one person.
Yes.
And I understand those combats. They should be very infrequent, but it's like, we have a combat where the shit's flying, so the barbarian's bad.
Yes.
We have something where there's loads of anti-magic stuff, so the spellcasters are bad. Like, maybe if this was the only one, feeling like you're getting focused, sometimes combats are built for that. And like, you shouldn't be upset by a combat being hard for you.
Yes, because, definitely.
Like, sometimes the dungeon master needs to do that to keep it spicy.
Definitely. That kind of feels like this is what this situation was. However, this feels like this was done, I'm going to say the word again, in bad faith.
Yeah.
The fact that the DM was like, oh, I should have known you would have had tricks like that.
And then you teleport into the house and suddenly it's an
anti-magic cage. And like, this is a really bad way to do it. And this comes back to the very first point of there is such a huge void of communication between you and the DM.
100%.
Do I blame you for feeling targeted there? No.
No.
Because you were.
You were, 100%.
You were. Granted, there's going to be times you are going to be targeted, but especially because of who you are. Of course you're going to be targeted.
But maybe you're too experienced for your dungeon master.
I think that's it, right?
I think you are too experienced for your dungeon master.
Yeah.
And really, the thing is, if your dungeon master has gotten frustrated to the point where he literally makes this combat to fuck you, which he has.
Yes, yeah.
Your dungeon master has literally made this combat as a nightmare for you.
And the thing is, ended up not really being that much of a nightmare for you. So your DM is obviously fighting and clawing to try and rail you in.
So before they got to this point, which is already too late, they should have come to you and gone, I'm struggle to balance you specifically.
Absolutely.
And like, there's no shame in saying that.
No, oh my God,
There's no shame in saying that. Like,
that's how you avoid situations like this.
Yeah.
Because now OP's come away being like, I'm being blamed and targeted for being a good player. And I can't imagine how frustrated your DM must be.
Your DM must be pulling their hair out planning a combat. They must resent planning combats because they don't understand. And the thing is, there's no shame in that.
No.
And like, like, being a good player, you shouldn't be punished for.
Of course
but
not.
You need a communication between you and your dungeon master as to how you two can play in the same game whilst both having a good time.
Absolutely. And
because at the minute, neither of you are having a good time.
And you can see your DM struggling.
Yeah.
You know it. You opened it up in the second paragraph saying, I'm a force to be reckoned with. You recognize that.
Yeah.
You know your DM struggling. I think, your question here is, am I the asshole for feeling targeted for playing too well? No. I think maybe you were a bit brash to just leave like that and just go. And I understand being frustrated.
Yeah.
And I can't say with complete certainty that I wouldn't have done that. But you can see what's happening. You're not oblivious to it.
Yeah. Sitting there and having nothing to do because your dungeon master has literally put the combat in there to make you unplayable because they don't understand how to balance it any other way is no good for anyone.
Yeah, definitely.
You need to go to your dungeon master and say, send them this clip if you want to. Send them this clip and because there's no shame in not being able to.
But no.
You need to the dungeon master needs to find a way to deal with you, or you need to play a slightly different way. And I understand that that's unfair on you because you don't want to, but at the same time, your dungeon master's having a bad time.
Yeah. Do you care more about your friendship group? You say you're all good friends.
Yeah.
You still play together. Do you care more about everyone having a good time and meeting somewhere in the middle? Because I think that's what you have to do.
I think you
have to meet somewhere in the middle.
You and your dungeon master have to meet somewhere in the middle.
Definitely. And I feel like you are getting punished harder than others, and that's not fair. And you need to have a conversation.
But at the same time, the dungeon master's probably, again, pulling the hair out every single time they plan a combat because they can't deal with you.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, that might feel good for your ego.
Yeah, because it sounds like you are an incredible player. Of course it does. Because it sounds like you're a great player,
but at the same time, that doesn't feel good for them.
It doesn't. I don't think in the long term it will feel good for everyone, including you, OP. You're already seeing the repercussions of it.
Exactly.
You can tell they're frustrated. You know you're a good player. You know you're a force to be reckoned with. You know they're trying to punish you. Have a conversation with them. I think this is so frustrating for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's frustrated. And again, I know I'm being biased because I felt so bad for our DM when this happened, and there was nothing we could do to help.
No.
And it's not your fault, by the way, OP. It's not your fault that your DM maybe doesn't know how to balance you.
No.
Not your fault you want to play this way. Also not your DM's fault.
It's not your DM's fault. That's the thing. But if your DM had frustrations, this is where it's all falling apart.
Yeah.
If your dungeon masters had frustrations with how strong your character is,
should have talked to you.
They should have talked to you.
Should have talked to you.
Instead of doing this, which has brought it all to head at the table with no communication. So,
and thank God it never got to this point in our game.
You need to open up that door. You need to be the bigger person and open up that door.
Definitely.
And just be like, I think that combat happened because you struggled to balance my character. I want to play this way, so let's find a way to balance it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Definitely.
And just see how that goes.
Definitely.
You're not an asshole.
Send them this clip.
Send them this clip.
Yeah.
Just send them this
definitely.
clip. Yeah.
You're not an asshole.
No.
Your DM's not an asshole.
No.
This is just a really unfortunate situation.
Your dungeon master probably feels a little bit trapped.
Yeah, I feel for both of you. I feel for both of you, really, I do. Have a chat.
Yeah,
They're your friend. Have a chat. You enjoy playing with them.
Yeah.
Have a chat. You're not an asshole,
no.
OP. God, that was a long one. That was a really hard one. Man,
it's so tough because...
and again, I think that's something we personally feel really strong about too.
Yeah, because we've seen it happen in front of our eyes.
Yeah, and you know what? There was also a huge lack of communication there as well.
Such a lack of communication.
Which made it so much more worse.
Yeah. And, the campaign ended before it got to this point.
Thank God, by the way.
In the last, quarter of the campaign,
very
I
tense.
feel like it reared its head many times.
Very tense, yeah. And it was difficult. But...
And, the thing is, counterspell is a spell for a reason. But
yeah, of course.
If you literally do nothing but counterspell, your dungeon master needs to be seasoned enough to be able to
absolutely
understand how to deal with that.
I think there has to be moments as the player kind of metagaming and being like, yeah, all right, I'm not going to do the optimal thing that my character probably would do in order to let the DM show us what the situation is. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just have to have that grace, I think.
You do.
And you only learn that through experience.
You do, yeah. And man, We'll leave it there.
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
Because
we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
We'll leave it there.
Continue.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, OP. I hope that helps. I know that this was an Am I the Arsehole, but I hope that helps.
Yeah, I hope it does. It's a tough situation.
Yeah, I feel bad for both of you. I really
do.
So this next one is from the Reddit.
Yes.
And the title is, Am I the Arsehole for being privately upset about players who refuse to participate in the finale of a campaign that they uprooted? I'm going to keep this as short as possible. I've been in a group for about 6 years. Watch this be the longest thing I've read. Yeah. I've been in a group for about 6 years now and have finished 3 official campaigns up till this point.
Well done. Congratulations.
Well done. We've been playing an official module for about 2 years now. That's open worldish, so it was taking a pretty long time. I don't want to be specific since I know some of the players are on Reddit. We had a party of 6, including the DM. One of the players dropped out about a year into the module because they weren't feeling the open world element. It sucked since their character was the face of the party, but we made it work and we carried on. Nearly a year later, and literally starting the final chapter, 2 of the other players have dropped. One was because of burnout with work, very much understandable, and the other was the previous quitting player's partner, who didn't give an exact reason but said she wanted to focus on work. 2 years of a campaign is a long time, especially for it just to suddenly end right before the ending. The DM suggested as a compromise that we just skip to the ending and have one last session as a finale, which could be scheduled at any time in the future when people were feeling up to it. Mm-hmm. The 2 quitting players and even the previous quitter still said that they weren't interested. They were kind about it and they said they were excited for us to finish it, but I feel absolutely terrible for my DM, who privately told me that he had planned some fun moments for their characters in the finale. I get burnout, I get not being excited, but it's one more session. My DM is still pushing to have one last session with me and the remaining 2 players, but I'm so upset and hurt that the other 2 players couldn't at least do one more session. I'm keeping my emotions private about this since I don't want to rock the boat and people's decision about a game are not world ending, but is it okay for me to be upset about this? Just looking to see here if anyone else has gone through something similar or if I'm just not seeing things correctly here. I think every emotion OP is feeling is completely
so
normal
valid.
and completely valid.
Like, I get it. Like sometimes there's just no other way other than it to suck. Like, these players clearly just are done. Yeah. And they just don't want to play anymore. And I don't think it's for anything other than they've just lost interest.
Truly. And I also don't think these players need to give a valid reason.
No, if you don't want to do something, you don't want to do something.
Exactly. I think, yes, you should always give a valid reason. Yeah. But I don't think you have to have one. Sometimes you just don't want to do the thing anymore.
Done. You're just finished.
Sometimes you're just done and again, I know that the DM's upset, and of course, oh my God, of course the DM would be upset. Yeah. And if it were me, I know I would look inwards and be like, is it something I did?
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it's not you.
No.
It's them. Literally.
It's just them.
Literally, it's not you, it's them.
They've got too much going on. They might be like quite depressed.
They might be burnt out. So many.
They might be having family problems and they've just got no motivation. You don't know.
The fact that they've actually even said, look, I'm done, I think is actually more grace than a lot of people give. Yeah. But that doesn't mean it doesn't fucking suck.
No, and the thing is, it's like, it sucks and you're valid to feel all of these feelings. Yeah. But nobody's in the wrong. Nobody's the asshole. Yeah. Everyone's done sort of what they can and everyone's feeling what they're feeling. Sometimes life just fucking blows.
Yeah, it does. Especially, we say it every time, scheduling things as adults when we all have so many things we need to do. It's really hard, and I know you're devastated. I would be devastated. If this happened to you, I would be devastated beyond belief for you. I would be so upset for you. Yeah. I'd be upset for me, but you can't force people to do things they don't want to do.
No, you can't.
I know to you, you're like, it's just one game, and I would be inclined to agree. But however,
to them, it might not feel like that.
You don't know what that implication of that one game is. In the same way, when it's like, oh, it's just answering the door. It's just a phone call. It's just a text. It's not that easy.
To some people, that seems like a mountain.
Exactly.
That they just cannot climb.
You can't force people to do things they don't want to do. Nope. But you're so valid in feeling how you're feeling.
100%.
But my genuine advice would be, do the final session with just you and the few other players. Yeah. It's not like it's just you. Like, there's 2 other players you can do it with. It's going to suck. Yeah, of course it is. But have your characters see out the world they want.
I think that would be a better idea than never doing it.
Absolutely.
I think that would feel better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not going to be the same, but you never know. Like, you might just really enjoy the dynamic of the 3 people in the DM, and then you might be like, let's just do this as normal now. Let's just have next campaign, us 3.
Exactly. What if you do it and you're like, yeah, this vibes actually.
Sometimes people like a smaller group dynamic.
We did. We loved having a 3. Granted, I prefer a 4 now.
Yeah, I don't think I'd go bigger than that though.
No, I prefer a 4.
I think a 4 is perfect.
Agreed.
For me.
I completely agreed. I loved the 3 because it was very intimate, but I bet it was a nightmare for you, balancing combat.
You know, like when you go down to really small groups, like somebody going down becomes like a
monumentous
massive thing.
Yeah.
Like that is, so having 4 people I think is easier to balance.
I think having 4 people is the perfect amount because naturally other characters are going to join onto like their duo more, right? Mm-hmm. And there's more instances for people to like maybe not be left out as much, I think.
Yeah.
I think 4 is a perfect amount, but you know, 3 players, so very viable.
Yeah.
I know that there's the conception that having like 6 players is
optimal.
But there's no such thing. As long as you're enjoying it, then that's all that matters.
Fuck how many people are there?
I know, and I know we just said 4 players is perfect. 4 players is perfect for us. Yeah. I wish I could just tell this person, because this is from the Reddit. Okay. Yeah, I wish I could just say like, you're so valid in what you're feeling, and I don't blame you for feeling like that. I mean, it's nothing to do with me, but yeah. Boo. That's such a shame. You're not an asshole. Not at all. No one is an asshole. Absolutely no one.
Not a single person.
Oh my God, we're on the last one. This is the last one.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say penultimate.
It's the ultimate.
This is the ultimate. This is the last one.
It's the ulti.
See, we definitely haven't been filming for that long.
We have. Yeah.
There's been like big gaps in between. Right?
No, there was one gap when I went to the toilet.
Oh well. And I was fuming.
And you were seething.
So mad.
But it was only about 2.5, 3 minutes.
Oh, well, never mind. Well, this is a bit of a longer one.
Yeah.
We've just been blabbing.
We've been talking.
We've been blabbing a lot.
We've been chewing the fat.
Yeah. Chewing the curd.
Chewing the curd.
Yeah. All right. This last one is also from the Reddit, and the title is, "Am I the arsehole for betting on the winning side?" Guys, I really need some third-party input here. My whole adventuring group seems to think I'm the arsehole, but I don't agree. Part of me thinks that I may be the arsehole, but I do believe my actions have been perfectly reasonable. And also there is an edit that says, just to make sure there's no misunderstanding, this is an in-character post. It's my character making the post, not me as a person. All the being called an arsehole is also 100% in character. So it's the group characters are calling this an arsehole move. I'll be using fictional names for privacy. A few months ago, our paladin Stalhead, human male, don't remember his age, doesn't matter, decided to go fight in the fighting pits. I, Brulfard, human male druid, I'm not 100% certain on the legality of such fighting pits, but no guards intervened. So even if it were illegal, it's not a thing to worry about. Mm-hmm. Just to paint a picture, Starhead is a goody two-shoes who would throw himself into the most dangerous and deathly situations just to save an elderly woman who was told him that she did not want young people to try and save her due to the danger of the situation. He is also incredibly boisterous and wants to prove himself and is overly confident. After signing up for the fighting pits, we learned at the beginning of the fight whom he'd go up against. He was going to fight against a Kenku with a bow. Ranged opponents have always been his weakness, as he doesn't have the speed to catch up to them and no way to fight from a ranged himself. Because he was at a clear disadvantage, I decided to bet against him. Apparently, that's what the rest of my group believes to be an arsehole move. But if he were to fight, why shouldn't I try earn some money from it? They believe I should have bet against the Kenku or not have bet at all. Now, the part that makes me think I could have been the arsehole is I started cheering for the Kenku, which Stalhead could hear. It seems obvious to me that I would cheer for the Kenku. After all, he is the one I bet on. In the end, Stalhead lost and I earned about 15 gold. I would have shared it with them, but after their outrageous reactions to me betting against Stalhead, I decided to keep the gold for myself. So now I ask you, fine people, was I the arsehole?
So just a bit of a funny one, eh?
I want to see more, right, of in character am I the assholes?
I
want to see more of this.
You betting against this person, like winning from a losing situation, always feels good.
Yeah.
It's like if you do bet, like if you bet against your own football team, if your football team wins, you're like, hey, my football team won. But then what?
But you lose money.
But then if they lose, you're like, hey, I won some money.
Oh, right, got you.
You bet against your own football team. It feels good either way.
Do you do that?
Absolutely not. I don't. I bet. Me, my dad, and my brother pick 2 teams each every week, and we put a bet on, and we never win. But we've won once.
Yeah.
And we won like 300 quid or something.
Oh,
so
nice.
it's we put like a £1 on
Yeah.
between the 3 of us, and because it's so outlandish, we never really win or lose. We lose everything. So like it was the moment that you cheated.
Yeah.
That was the asshole moment.
Man.
Betting against someone who really fucking cares. It can be a bit of a joke, like I put my hood up and I run through the tavern, pretending like I'm going to the toilet, and I slide and I say I'm betting against them, and then nobody knows as you come back. Yeah. But it's the moment you cheat against.
Yeah, agreed. This is just a bit of lighthearted fun, isn't it? Man, I would love to see Am I the Arsehole from all of our characters. Could you imagine Ray listening in and Am I the Arsehole? Yeah. Am I the arsehole for calling this bird a bird person?
Yes. Nah. It doesn't really matter.
I think,
Cheering against your friends is never good.
No, don't do that.
Like, that means you like gold more than you like
friends. Don't do that. I can't see a world in which any of us would put a bet on the opposite.
Oh, I think I could.
You think you could?
I think I could see somebody doing that.
Could you?
Yeah.
I guess it would be a funny joke,
yeah,
though, wouldn't it?
Exactly. It would be just a bit of crack. But,
This has to be written in jest, right?
Yeah,
this can't be serious.
No way this is serious.
There's no way.
No way.
Good fun, though.
Anyway.
A little bit of good fun. That's it. What do you think? That's all we have. Did you get as angry as I did?
Margaret did get seething.
I got seething. That pissed me off so bad. I'm pissed off thinking about it.
It annoyed me, but just, if you're pissed off, I'm happy for you to just
let me rant.
Yeah, just go for it.
It's the same when you get really pissed off, I just let you go.
Yeah, just go.
Yeah.
Just go. Pop off, bitch.
Yeah, I will.
Pop off, queen.
It's on site. I
don't know what
That's like, I'm going to fight you on site.
Oh,
I'm looking at my mac and cheese. Are you hungry?
I could eat.
Could you eat mac and cheese?
I'll eat some mac and cheese if you want to cook it.
Yep. I'm going to have mac and cheese. Bye.
Hellbound store is linked down below for spell cards, for notebooks, for t-shirts, for all your good D&D stuff, gifts for the holiday season. Podblast, code Podblast gets 10% off the entire store, so go and pick something up if you want something. Our heavy metal t-shirt, our logo t-shirt, logo with the black print of Squad Blasters, is all available at www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk.
Don't forget that we have a new theme for Homebrew Challenge. Surprise!
Enter the Discord
it's
and enter the Homebrew Challenge. Meet a bunch of friends in there. You don't need to. There's no agenda. You don't have to do anything in there other than just meet people, have a good time.
Entity, give them an agenda.
Interact with any part of the podcast you would like to, any part of the Discord. The submission form is down below, so you can get your submission read out on the Podblast as well. I love you.
I love you.
Bully loves you.
Oh, he is out.
He needs his lunch. And we will see you on Thursday. Bye.